Hey, what to do, YouTube? All right, NBA standings. Like to do this from week to week, kind of jump things in here. So, right now we'll cover within the Eastern Conference. And as we've been covering the East, the main team has pretty much been the Philadelphia 76ers and pretty much the front runner for MVP talk of Joel Embiid. So, the Philadelphia 76ers have a 15-6 record. I fully expect Joel Embiid to be the leading all-star in the Eastern Conference, and I believe it's going to be Team LeBron against Team Embiid. I expect that to be the case. The 76ers are not looking back. They're performing very well. Kudos to Doc Rivers. And I think a very underrated acquisition has to be Seth Curry, because I've stated, even though Ben Simmons is a point guard right now, I don't prefer him to be a true point guard in the NBA. I would like for him to be more of a point forward. And bringing in Seth Curry was a huge steal because even though they're running a lineup of quote unquote Simmons at the 1, Curry at the 2, Green at the 3, Tobias Harris at the 4, and Embiid at the 5, without even noticing, but it's actually kind of more of like Seth Curry at the 1, Danny Green at the 2, Simmons at the 3, like a point forward, so on and so forth. So that brings another ball handler out there, someone who can create the offense on his own shot or hook it up for your teammates. It was a great, Daryl Morey, kudos to him, bringing in Danny Green as a traditional spot-up shooter who's won 3 championships, who just came off 2 back-to-back championships for 2 different franchises in Toronto and LA. And he's going to bring that veteran presence. So Danny Green's been great this season. Kudos to him. That really helps out Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons, you need to put shooters around him. And they didn't do so last season, but they're finally bringing in Danny Green, and then Seth Curry is another great three-point shooter who can create offense as well. So I expect the Philadelphia 76ers to make a couple more roster moves during the middle of the season. But they should be a top 3 seed in the East, consistent as can be. And Ben Simmons, the last 5 games, has been picking back up. He had a slow start to this season, but he's picking it back up. So they're good. The Brooklyn Nets, 13-9 record with the big 3 with James Harden, KD, and Kyrie. They'll be a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference as well when it comes down to it. But they should have better than a 13-9 record, but it's still early. You just got the acquisition of James Harden. They just signed Iman Shumpert, a great fit. I told them they should sign him, and they did it. So they got 2 more roster spots they're kind of looking at. They need to make a trade for JaVale McGee. That needs to be priority for them. If they don't get that trade to go down, then you need to call up Zach Randolph or Tyson Chandler. I know both of them are quote-unquote retired, but you could really use that interior defense, locker room presence, veteran, and just another big out there. But when it comes to another roster spot, you may have to go for Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. He could be another great fit for their team. Maybe Ersan Ilyasova. They need another big out there, someone who can score. But the Brooklyn Nets, they'll be a top 3 seed in the East. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics, both around 11 and 10 wins in that range. The top 4 seeds in the East are definitely going to be, in no order, the Bucks, Celtics, Nets, and 76ers. So that second round semis is going to be electric in the playoffs. And those 4 are pretty much a tier 1. Now, the rest of the tiers, it drops off tremendously. The Pacers are kind of that bubble team, but they're not a top 4 seed compared to those others. See the Hawks. Okay, so we have the Hornets that actually came into the 8th seed. Wow, 9 and 11. That's the thing with the Eastern Conference. The last 2 seeds to get into the playoffs, the 7th and 8th seed, are typically losing records. So let's see, the Raptors 8 and 12, the Miami Heat 7 and 12. That's trash, man. That's terrible for the Miami Heat, man. The Wizards are dead last now. But the Wizards did beat the Brooklyn Nets by the game winner by Russell Westbrook, a 40-point performance. I don't know about the Wizards, man. I don't know. Last night was a fluke. I mean, they were getting blown out in the first half. Bradley Beal's body language was terrible. And even though he was all smiley, jolly since they won the game in that great fashion, but the Wizards have a lot of makeup they need to do. I don't know. Pistons, yeah, they're done. They've always been done. The Magic, Jonathan Isaac, Markelle Fultz are out, so I expect them to be losing. The Bulls need to pick it up, man. They need to make a trade. They need to get Larry Markkinen out of there because they're going to keep Zach LaVine, who's going to be an all-star this season, but you need to put him with a scoring wing. Larry Markkinen is not going to cut it. The Raptors, they've been slowly trying to get up, but I don't know, man. Knicks are kind of falling down a little bit, coming back to earth as I expected. Man, the East is trash. Wow. I really expected beginning the season that the Raptors and Heat would be in better positions, but since they've dropped off tremendously, same thing with the Wizards. It's left the Cavaliers and Hornets with those with those playoff spots. I don't know. It's still early in the NBA, but it's not a good look. 20 games in, I did not expect it for the Cavaliers and the Hornets to be in this position because the Raptors and Heat fell off tremendously. Wow. All right, in the Western Conference, let's see here. So the story pretty much the West is the 15-5 Utah Jazz. They were 15-4, but the Denver Nuggets took them out last game. Nikola Jokic had 47 points, around 30 in the first half. He's top 3 for MVP. Him, Embiid, and LeBron. And actually, you can throw KD as well. It's pretty close right now, but Jokic and Embiid have the really good. They have Jokic and Embiid have the greatest cases probably right now. Still premature from the award because it's 20 games in, but if I'm going to play that game as of right now. Clippers 16-5. They've been very low key, stealthy all this whole season. No one's been really talking about them, so that's good for them. They're being humble. Ty Lue, he's doing a good job with them, so it's good to see there. See the Lakers 15-6. Yeah, they're a game behind first place. They're fine. They're really adjusting. They need to get another big out there, and they're adjusting to their roster. I'm proposing. I say move Dennis Schroeder to a 6-man role. Put Wesley Matthews as your starting shooting guard. Let LeBron run the point guard again and feed AD. So LeBron can work on his 3, which he's shooting 41%. But if LeBron's a true point guard, he'll get AD rolling, and AD needs to give you around 28 this season. But I think Dennis Schroeder is really hindering the starting role by taking too many shots, not hooking up AD as much, and you don't need another ball handler like that with LeBron James. Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell will be electric off the bench together. That's what I propose, but I don't know. Dennis Schroeder already proclaimed preseason that he needs to be a starter. The Memphis Grizzlies, wow, 8-6. A very low-key team as well. Kudos to Ja Morant. He's an impact-type player. He's like a Donovan Mitchell and a Damian Lillard. Not only that, he'll give you a lot of buckets, but he can give you wins, franchise wins, impact player. Kudos to him, man. But I still don't expect the Grizzlies to make the playoffs end of the day. The Phoenix Suns have been kind of going back down to earth. They were a 3rd seed at the beginning of the season. They had like a 5-2 record, but 10-8 as of right now. They're going to have to pick it up, man. See the Warriors at 11-9. See the Spurs 11-9. Yeah, Spurs have been low-key as well, but I don't know, man. I've always stated I want the Spurs to blow it up. I don't know why you still have Popovich with LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. This was 2 seasons ago. That's fine, but now it's like even if you make the playoffs, so what? They're both going to leave in free agency, anyways. The Rockets, hey, kudos to them. After the James Harden trade, they're staying afloat. Christian Wood's averaging 24 a game, making a good case to where if there's injuries in the West, he can make an All-Star appearance. The OKC Thunder, even though they blew it up, they have all these first-round picks, but they're staying competitive. I really like that. The Dallas Mavericks have been the most disappointing team in the Western Conference alongside with the New Orleans Pelicans, especially after their loss against the Phoenix Suns last night. It's not a good look for Dallas right now. It is not. They may want to part ways with Rick Carlisle, as fans have been stating. Let alone, if I'm the Dallas Mavericks, you may want to make a huge push for Zach LaVine in a trade. I'm not going to pull the plug on the KP and Luka dynamic duo. Some fans have stated that, but you need to look to add a third person because Luka can't do it all, man. But the Pelicans with Stan Van Gundy, I never liked that hiring. I've stated that. He needs to get out of there. They need Kenny Atkinson. They need to go young. And, man, 7-11, that's not a good look. Timberwolves, I expected this. Karl-Anthony Towns has been way overrated for the past 6-7 seasons. He's a beta. Overall, the trend, I expect the Dallas Mavericks to pretty much reach 500 in the next 2 to 3 weeks. The Pelicans, I don't think so. I'm not too sure about that. Plus, you have Lonzo Ball trade rumors now that have been hovering around. Like 12 different teams are into him. Um, Trying to think what else. In the East, man, I don't know about the Wizards, man. I don't know. They're too much in a hole. 4-12, that's tough, man. And you're requiring, and Bradley Beal's been doing 40-point nights back to back and just going off, but Bradley Beal's not an impact player due to wins. He's just a sprinkle on top. I mean, he can be your second option, but he can't be your first option. Like John Morant, for example, is an impact type player, a number one guy. Bradley Beal's not that. But yeah, those are my thoughts as of right now. Definitely in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're definitely going to see a difference in wins and the tiers in the NBA. It's starting to do so as of right now, but we'll cover more into it.